What if I told you that your greatest strength is secretly holding you back? High achievers, entrepreneurs, professionals, all perfectionists, this one is for you. Hi, I'm Vassia, I'm a psychologist, and I'm a perfectionism expert. And today we are diving into the question that might just change your career. I mean, I'm not exaggerating here. Been there, done that. The question is, are we using our perfectionism to avoid our potential? And why are we doing that? In the next 10 minutes, we will explore the perfectionism paradox, analyze why we use it in order to avoid our potential, look at a real life example. I have an example to share with you, at least one. Identify the signs because we want to see the signs. We want to know the signs that we are doing, we are avoiding our potential. And most importantly, we're going to discover strategies in order to break free. So let's dive in. Let's first start with the perfectionism paradox. You know that perfectionism helps us in order to achieve excellence, in order to become better, in order to progress, to grow, right? We have that relentless drive for excellence. It's really powerful. It makes us wake up in the morning feeling energy, motivation. And of course, we get the motivation out of seeing the growth happening. It's admirable, right? But sometimes it's a trap. Perfectionism, and especially in the professional world that we're talking about, is not about doing great work. That's what we need to realize. It's not about being perfect, it's about setting impossible standards that keep us stuck. It's about criticizing ourselves in a relentless way, really harsh way, and never finding us enough. It's about being terrified of failure and mistakes because it's going to ruin our perfect image. And I'm going to give you also an example, as I said before. Sarah, she was a product manager, brilliant product manager, and she was about to launch a game-changing app. So she was very innovative and she was very creative, but she was faced with a problem. This app was almost ready for 18 months. Almost ready for 18 months. So Sarah was like, well, I just need to tweak this feature. I need to change that. Then it will be perfect. So she always found something that needed a little bit tweaking or a little bit of change. Sounds familiar? Been there? You know that report that you keep tweaking again and again, or anything that you want to put out there in the world, and always miraculously needs a little bit of tweak. Many of us perfectionists, we use perfectionism as a shield, a way to avoid scary stuff. It's like we don't want to put our stuff out there. That's how it feels. It's very self-sabotaging. I've said about perfections before. It's the most negative, toxic, self-sabotaging mindset pattern. But why do we do that? Let's go into the why now. 3 reasons. First of all, we're afraid of failure, as I said before. We're terrified of falling short. We took 18 months, just like Sarah, for example, and then we delivered something that maybe a part of it is not working, or maybe another part of it needs corrections and edits. We are afraid that we're gonna be embarrassed, we're gonna be ridiculed. So perfectionism is our safety net. I'm not ready yet. I'm perfectionizing it. I'm not ready yet. It has to be perfect. And then it prevents us from taking risks that, of course, could lead to growth. Another thing that we're afraid is judgment. We're afraid that other people might not have the same opinion about our work out there. We worry what other people think. That's why we said perfectionism and people pleasing go hand in hand. By striving for perfection, we hope that we will shield ourselves from criticism. even if it means never sharing our work. And also, in our attempt to make it likable by everybody, we incorporate things that we think other people will like. And then here's another thing that happens with perfectionism: we lose our authenticity, we lose our true self, and consequently, our work loses its authenticity because it's not ours anymore. It's pieces, bits and pieces of what other people would like in there. And it doesn't have a clear mission, a clear vision. The third reason that we are avoiding our potential with perfectionism is what we call imposter syndrome. It's that feeling not only that you're not good enough, but also that you don't have the credentials, and one day people will realize how much of a fraud you are. And that's why we take more time. I want to have another training. I want to have more experience. I want to try another year. And again, we're hiding our potential. We're not taking new projects. We're not taking the lead because we think that other people know we don't deserve the success. We don't deserve the lead. So that's why we are hiding our potential. Perfection, it becomes our way to prove our worth, but often it backfires. So then it reinforces even more self doubt. So these fears, they keep us comfortable in the almost perfect zone. I'm almost ready. I'm almost perfect. It feels safe, but that keeps us from reaching our potential. This is where we're talking about the paralyzed perfectionist. So, how do you know that you're caught in the trap? Here are three signs, just to understand that, oh, I'm doing it again. I'm avoiding my potential because I want to be perfect. First of all, you're constantly revising without real progress. Constantly revising again and again and again. And the progress actually is not that significant. It doesn't make that big difference. Second sign, delegating feels impossible because no one can do it right. So you keep taking everything on your plate. You are responsible for everything. And this is where perfection says, I'm the one, the only one that can do it perfect. And that doing all these things actually sabotages you from doing the one main thing that you need to do and progress. So you're spreading yourself too thin. And the third sign is, of course, you're burning out from obsessing over tiny details. At the end of the day, you're exhausted. All these tiny details, probably they were not that important. And not only at the end of the day, you feel tired, but also you feel depleted of purpose. What was all these things that I was doing the whole day? Where did my energy go? You wonder, right? Does any of it hit home? Do you recognize that? Does it resonate? Well, I also have good news. You can break this cycle. Let's talk strategy. First of all, we have to embrace the good enough. I know it sounds scary. It feels like we're compromising. I know that. But here's a secret: done is better than perfect. This is where we realize that we can wait forever, but then during this forever, we're not actually fulfilling our potential. We're not actually having real progress. So, good enough is exactly what we need. The second one that we need to do is set realistic deadlines and stick to them. Realistic deadlines and stick to them. Your work deserves to see the light of the day. So make an estimation: how much time do you need, or it's reasonable to dedicate on a specific project. If, for example, it's an app, maybe you say 6 months. Or if it's a report, maybe you say, let's say, 3 hours. What's reasonable to expect? And when you see that you are going over this time, then you know that maybe your perfectionism is messing up there. So what happens is that, and what I've seen is that people have significantly, exponentially more progress when they allow themselves to be imperfect or good enough, as we say, rather than when they are stuck with their perfectionism. One entrepreneur that I was working with, he said that once I stopped obsessing over every detail, my business grew faster than ever. So now it's your turn. Take a moment and ask yourself, what is the project that I have been delaying because it's not perfect yet? What is this project? Find out. Write it down. How would my career change if I embraced done over perfect? Visualize. How would your career change if you would make decisions faster? Not impulsive decisions, but faster. I know you're going to think this through, but how would it be if you would not get paralyzed in the decision making? And another question, what's one small step that you can take today towards progress, not perfection, towards progress? And another question, what do you think that failure is? Failure might be for you something terrible because you think that everybody will remember it and you never learn something out of it. But actually, when you reframe it, you see that every misstep is a lesson and it's moving you towards success. It's a stepping stone towards your next big win. So here's your challenge. Take that project, as we said, that you have been perfecting. Set yourself a deadline, a close one, and commit to launching it or delivering it at 80% readiness. And let's see what happens. Usually, all these worst case scenarios that we have been thinking that might happen, usually none of this happens. Remember, the world out there is waiting for your work, waiting for your contribution, waiting for your potential. Your work has value before it's perfect. That's the thing. Your work has value before it's perfect. Your ideas deserve to be out there in the world. So take the leap, embrace imperfect, because there is true growth, and this is where your real potential lies. All right? Thank you very much for watching. I'm Vassia, perfectionism expert. And if you want to see how much of a perfectionist you are, this is my quiz here. You can find it at antiloneless.com. The quiz, how much of a perfectionist you are. So that's how we call out our perfectionism, and then it's not controlling us anymore. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. And until next week, take good care of yourself.